Okay, hello, and welcome to another week of herbal soups. Welcome, interns. So this week is on bone and tendon healing soups, right? So as we learn in school, tonifying the kidneys and the liver supports the bones and the tendons, right? So kidneys to bones, liver to tendons. And let's start off with, well, who are these soups targeted? Well, this is for those who are to need to strengthen tendons and bones. And who are those people? Usually older folks, or not just older folks because their kidney function declines, their inability to nourish the liver, and therefore the tendons get stiff, bones get more brittle. But these are not the only people. There are also those who are recovering from injury. So those are also very important. So it can be young people who have injuries and falls, damaged bones, fractures, and tear tendons. This can be very helpful for them as well. And needless to say, for the older folks with injury, they even need more help, right? Because their ability to recover is not as good as when they were younger. Of course, when you're younger, your kidney functions tend to be stronger, and then you recover much quicker. So I just wanted to start by telling you, who are the people that would use these. Okay, so usually people injuries are usually older folks, and that's what they're targeted. Now, with that said, when you make it at home, everyone can have this. Everyone can have a bowl. It's delicious soup, and even if there's nothing wrong with you, it also helps strengthen your liver and kidneys. And we all can need a little tonification, right? So let's start off with the star of the show for this particular recipe, and that'll be herb number one there, labeled, and that's duzhong, right? You guys probably learned it in school. You know what? You definitely learned it in herbs class. Duzhong is the cornea cortex, right? It tonifies the liver, the kidney and liver, strengthens sinews and bones. That's its claim to fame. We actually use this a lot. It's probably the number one ingredient for tonifying bones and tendons. And it's very common. People buy it. They even sell this in the supermarket. And this is actually the bark of a rubber tree. It freaks people out a little bit when they see rubber, they hear rubber or latex, but these are natural ingredients and it's fine. The way that they are cut, and you can see them, you can pick them up and just, if you pull apart the bark a little bit, you see the silk that's exposed, or that could be the rubber or the latex. So those with latex allergy actually can't use this. There are not that many people with that problem, so it's not a big deal, but just know that. So that's duzhong, very, very commonly used. It doesn't really have a bad taste. And when you make this with the pork bones or beef bones, whatever type of bones that you want, it would be you wouldn't even taste the duzhong. Okay, it's actually doesn't have a really strong taste. The next herb is Niu Xi. That's the second herb. Niu Xi and duzhong, they go hand in hand. They are used in oftentimes together, and that's also strengthens the liver and kidneys system, and strengthens sinews and bones, and it's also commonly used. Okay, both of them. It's neutral, and it's actually I think the second function, actually the first function, is invigorate blood. And this is one of the things that's not really well explained. Sometimes people worry that it invigorates blood, and the invigorating blood is really secondary to the tonifying aspect of it, especially how it's used now in conjunction with Niu Xi. So that's something I want to tell people, I tell students not to worry about it. It is used more to tonify bones and tendons more than invigorating blood. The invigorating blood aspect of it is small, it's not disruptive, is really not a problem. And another thing I also want to talk about Niu Xi, the herb number two. It's also a guide to the lower part of the body, to the back of the UB channel. So that's actually very, very good, especially lower back. So Niu Xi and duzhong together, super duper awesome. Okay, I just want to let you know. Let's talk about herb number 3, and that's Ji Sheng. Ji Sheng is very interesting. This herb dispel wind dampness. Okay, so and this wind dampness that gets in the channels and the collaterals, slows down and impedes the flow, and it causes aches and pains. So this, in conjunction with the other herbs, those are more tonifying, and then this one help get rid of the wind dampness that's obstructing, causing the obstruction. It also strengthens sinews and bones as well. Not as good as the other ones, but nonetheless, it does that. And another function of Ji Sheng is also it nourishes the blood as well, right? You look at it, looks like twigs and leaves. How does that tonify blood? But it does. It does. As a matter of fact, if you remember from class, they use Ji Sheng for postpartum, for nourishing blood and yin, and it's good for complexion, right? So it's so you can see that nourishing the blood aspect of it, although it's not the primary in this particular formula, it's contributory. It helps, right? Because who are the people that usually have these type of problems? Usually people who are deficient, kidney deficient. So nourishing blood is a good thing. Okay, nourishing blood. All right, so let's move on to herb number 4. Now, this is very interesting. This is Lu Jin. This is the tendon of deer tendon. Yeah, so if you're a vegan, vegetarian, well, you would be drinking this in the first place because this is a bone soup. But yes, this is deer tendon. It's like tonifying likes. So this helps strengthens sinews and bones. Okay. And this is one of the main ingredients because it's an animal product. It tends to be stronger. And Lu Jin deer tendon has been used historically to strengthen sinews and bones. And this is one of a really, really good ingredient. And so if you're not into, so I don't like to have deer tendon, okay, I guess you can leave it out. But it's a great ingredient. Okay, we use it all the time. Okay, animal products tend to be stronger. So let's move on to the next ingredient, which is Yan Rou. Now, for those of you now who've seen the 4 or 5 videos, it seemingly Yan Rou is in every formula. And one of the reasons why is sweet. It also, and the sweet component of it's important because you want the soup to taste good. So the Yan Rou is oftentimes used. But the other thing also, it tonifies the middle jiao and spleen qi, and also nourishes blood, right? Particularly heart blood. So that's one of the reasons why. So it nourishes blood, always generates qi, it tastes good. So oftentimes we throw them in. Okay, so seemingly every formula we just throw them in, you can never really go wrong with Yan Rou. Okay, maybe if you use too much of it, it's not good. Let's go to herb number 6. Now this is also very, very common. It is goji berries or Gou Qi Zi. The beautiful thing about Gou Qi Zi, it is a kidney tonic, liver, kidney, yin, blood, right? And if that's not enough for you, also essence as well, right? And those who have these type of problem oftentimes have essence deficiency because they have kidney deficiency. So not all herbs that nourishes blood, nourishes liver. Kidney, yin, and blood. This one does. It's a kidney tonic. Again, the root of yin is in the kidneys. So this is a very important tonic. It also has essence. And on top of everything else, it also tastes good. So it's also a win-win. So when in doubt, throw in some Gou Qi Zi, especially in a tonic, especially when you need a kidney tonic, especially kidney, liver, blood. And then you're like, hey, what's the deal with all the blood herbs in here? Because you need abundance of qi and blood to flow through the channels and the meridians, right? If you don't have enough, you got to get stagnation, right? So that's one of the reasons why. So you would think, oh, it's a kidney tonic. What has to do with blood? Qi and blood needs to be abundant to flow through the collaterals and the channels. Otherwise, deficiency is going to lead to stagnation. So just keep that in mind. And it's one of the reasons why we do that. The last herb is the dazao. Again, another popular ingredient. Dazao, tonifies the middle jiao, right? The spleen qi, very much like Yan Rou. And then also, of course, it nourishes blood as well. So back to the rationale, making sure they have abundance of qi and blood flowing through the channels and the collaterals. Again, deficiency leads to stagnations. So this is actually a very simple formula. I would say for typical combination, and I always tell you guys at the end of the video, you can mix and match the ingredients, but there, you know, if you don't want to have the deer tendon, you don't have to have the deer tendon. But the deer tendon is actually one of the stars because it's an animal product, it's very strong. So that's keep that in mind. If you are going to leave it out, you're actually leaving something off that is potentially very important. The other thing that I also want to mention is that bones are important. Bones have calcium, right? It helps build. So get good quality bones when you make the bone soup. Go to the butcher, get some good quality bones, whether it's pork bones, beef bones, whatever you like, better than chicken bones. You want a big fat bones with a lot of marrow. You cook them for a long time. When I say a long time, about 2 hours, up to 3, and then you get all the goodness of the bones out of the bones into your soup, along with the herbs, and it will be a win-win for your tendons and bones. Last thing I'm going to tell you, they tend to be a little fatty. So one little trick is when you're done with the cooking the soup, what you can do is let it cool down, put it in the fridge. The fat will rise to the top, skip off the fat, and just heat it up tomorrow, and you have less fat in there, and it won't be that fatty, and it will be good. Okay, and I think that is really it. And I hope you enjoyed the soup on Friday, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, great, thank you.